The audience for newspapers is older. So across the country, the average newspaper reader is late 50s. The average consumer of TV news is almost that old. Now here's the interesting thing. The average age of a digital user is much, much lower, including teenagers, but they're not consuming digital news. So the average age of a person consuming the content of a newspaper or a TV station online is fairly close to the age of the person consuming it in print or in broadcast. It's a little younger, but not young enough. So the idea that print would go away and just be replaced by digital is not true. So that should be a concern for people beyond those of us who are in the news media. That should be a concern for all of society, that younger people, people under 30, choose not to be informed at all, except perhaps by their friends on social media, which is really not informative. That's a big concern. They don't vote, they don't want to become informed, they don't want to participate in democracy. That's scary. So those of us in the newspaper business, well, worry about us second, worry about the democracy first. Even before there was digital, people in their 20s didn't read newspapers. We said, okay. When they get a mortgage and they put kids in school, they'll begin to read the newspaper because they will have a vested interest in the community and they will need to know what's going on. They'll need to participate in the community, but they didn't. And then we thought, okay, Gen X has proven to be disinterested in going on. Maybe the millennials will have a different approach to the news. Not really. We find that during major events, younger people are interested. So the school shooting in Parkland drew all sorts of interest. Everybody was talking about it. My teenage daughter and her friends were all talking about it. But 2 weeks later, everything's back to normal. So I don't know. The suggestion that younger people will become news consumers, will participate in democracy when they become older, continues to be something we hope for, but it hasn't. The data doesn't suggest that that's true yet. Getting your news exclusively from John Oliver, Jon Stewart really isn't satisfactory. But here's the thing: if every single person in America watched Lester Holt for 20 minutes every weeknight, or his counterparts on the other networks, and did nothing else, never read a newspaper, didn't watch CNN or Fox or anything else, just 20 minutes of the national network news, but did so every single night, I think our country would be a lot better off, because we're not even doing that. Years ago, here's a good story. Years ago, when USA Today came out, I think it was early 80s when it launched, many serious journalists decreed it for being lightweight. Remember, they called it McPaper as a pejorative. I believe the people who were behind it thought the reference to McDonald's was actually flattering because McDonald's is such a successful business, but it was meant in a pejorative way, that it was shallow, it was not substantial. Then somebody made the observation, and it might have been Charles Kuralt of CBS, but I might be wrong about who made the observation. He said that if everybody read USA Today every single day, we'd all be better off. And extrapolate that, not USA Today, but I'm saying Lester Holt, which is even less substantial than USA Today. It's 20 minutes. If we did nothing else but that, and I mean everybody, everybody 18 and above, we'd be much, much, much better off. So it isn't just a question of newspapers declining or serious news declining. It's the proliferation of ignorance. It's people who are choosing not to be informed. They're choosing not to vote. They're choosing not to participate. That's dangerous.